Hi everybody. You caught me messing with my camera a little bit today because again, I haven't figured out how to do this before I go live, which is annoying. But anyway, how's everybody doing? I have been purging, as you know. Thank you for supporting me and helping me get rid of all of my excess stash. I've been working on some cards and stuff. This one has gotten a lot of comments, this little one here, so I just thought I'd show it to you. What's cool about this, so Stampin' Up! Hasn't come out with all their Halloween stuff. They have a Halloween paper pack coming out, and it will have a workshop, scrapbooking workshop, and it should have some stamps to go with it. I really love Halloween stuff. I don't celebrate Halloween the same way I used to, but I do love it. Anyway, this one is really fun, and I really love this Potion and Spells, and look at all the cool dies. There's like lots of bubbles and ooze, and these are handles to this big cauldron. There's a bunny, like a crow or a raven, little potion bottles with different levels of liquid, and there's a broom and a broomstick. The hands that are on this card I made with the broomstick. I just die cut them and then just chopped off the appendages in different levels. I know that sounds weird, but I wanted to use only Stampin' Up! To try to make this. Of course, I added googly eyes all over it because, I mean, hello, it's fun. Anyway, I also wanted to show you, I used this In the Grove set. In the Grove is beautiful. It makes beautiful, beautiful cards, especially if you use it with that paper that already has scenery on it, and you can just add this onto it, and it just makes beautiful sets. But it comes with a lot of dies. So it has like the mountains and mountain range, the trees that are upside down right here, some trees, there's a little squirrel and a bunny, pines, but this is the one I used for the Halloween creepy trees. I just thought that was a fun use for it. I think I'll be using it in the winter to make some really cool winter trees also. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I've been working on that. And then, hold on. I need more surfaces around me to put things. I've been playing with the beach stuff. I thought, gosh, it's almost the end of summer. I guess if I'm going to use beach stuff, I need to get on it. This is the Beach Day set, and I've just been playing around with it. I haven't actually done anything with it. I cut out gobs of parts and pieces, and I've been starting to put them together to see how they work, like to make little trees, because when you cut these out, you cut out the bottom, like the trunk of the tree separate, and then you have all these other leaves that you can pile on in different ways and in different colors, and I just thought that was really fun. So I've just been playing with that one a little bit, and you may see a few cards or scrapbook pages made using that just because it's kind of fun. I haven't totally figured it out yet, but I will soon. I'll be playing with that more. I got a mess over here. I've been trying to clean up my space and still try to keep all of my stuff together. And man, everything I do is in the same like 6-foot area. And so it's very crowded around me. Got to work on that. Anyway, today I really want to use Seaside Wishes, and I know this is kind of far away. I usually have it zoomed in a little more. Do that a little bit. but I'm going to work on a couple of scrapbook layouts. So Seaside Wishes, and the cool part of Seaside Wishes is it's a hybrid folder. So there is a embossing folder, there are dies, and there are stamps. And awesome. Everything is awesome here. The cool thing about the embossing folder is when you open it up, I always think of the logo side as the top, okay? The dies from this, notice all the sand dollars are kind of together. They lay onto your embossing folder. And so when you do this, you'll know which side is right because they don't fit on one side. On the other side, they line up. And there's a little, like you can scoot them around. And then all of a sudden, they just sort of snap into like a little notch. They snap into place. Now, they're still very movable. But you can see this is a very deep folder. And that die just sort of goes into place. Now, when you put your paper on there, you can run this whole thing zip through your machine. And I was going to get out my machine and show you that. But I did go ahead and do it a couple of times. So this actually will go through your machine and cut the sand dollars, actually cut them out. And so you end up with sand dollars that are embossed. Do you see that? And that gives you a whole different look. Now, if you want to, you can just run it through just the embossing folder, and this is what you get. You get that half. You can see I did it twice. This is like a 12-inch piece of cardstock, and I did it one way, and then I flipped it around and did it the other way. Now, if you want to use it on your scrapbook page like I'm going to do today, you want to make sure that you don't flip it over, because then you'll have one side like debossed and one side embossed. So one side will be popping up and the other side will be sunken down. So you want to make sure that when you put it in your folder like this, and you snap that into place. Come on, it's not wanting to scooch. There you go. And then you just fold that over or do it the other way like this. And run it through. Now to just emboss it, I didn't use the die, obviously. I just ran it through and then I turned it and ran it through again. One way, and then I turned it and ran it through the other way. That's why I've got that weird little line in there, but it doesn't show very much. Like, what's cool about this embossing folder, one of the things I really like about it are these little textury bubble sand things. I don't know if they're supposed to be, they look like water droplets. Aren't they neat? So even when I've been running things through this die, I've been kind of keeping this, and I thought I can cut that out and use that bubbly part for something because it's just so cool. I kind of wish I had a whole embossing die that just did that. Anyway, so that is one thing I want to play with today, and I just really like how this whole thing looks. The other dies that are in here, I'll show you all. You saw, I've been cutting pieces and parts out. There's like some seagrass, there's a couple of starfish, and then these, I've been using them kind of like coral, but I think these are called, somebody help me. There's a type of shell. That's a type of shell. I keep wanting to say anemone or it's not right. It's a sea urchin or something. Yeah, I think it might be a sea urchin or something. Anyway, I love it. So this is what we're using today. I also wanted to show you that I've been using this Thoughtful Wishes set a lot because, and the reason I like it is the greenery aspect. So like you could cut this piece out, you could cut this piece out, or this piece, or even this, and you have like this wispy sort of greenery that's nothing in particular. Like you could use it and it doesn't necessarily be, it's not necessarily a type of flower or a type of weed or a type of seagrass or whatever. But when you cut it out and don't use it with the stamps, it's just a shape and it makes a really nice part of your cluster. So I like to look for dies that are sort of generic like that. And I also have been kind of using the alphabets also. Okay, I want to talk about this one for a moment. I'm seriously thinking maybe Friday I need to play around with this. This is sort of next on my agenda. But I think a lot of you saw this card that I made. This is just that printed paper. What is it? Is it called Thoughtful Wishes? It's kind of part of that Thoughtful Wishes bundle, Thoughtful something. And then you can see there's that greenery that I punched out. And then here is the shapes of the sand dollars and that sea urchin shape. And I just think it makes a beautiful card. It was very simple. Basically, all die cut and embossed, except for the message, right? And I think it would be really fun to show you how I made these. I've shown this a million times, but what a great way to make a card. This embossing folder is called So Swirly. It's one of those really big ones, like those big 6x8 ones. It's like opening up a book. It's really big. But what's nice about that is you can use, look at, you know, a 12-inch piece of paper and look at it embossed all the way over to the 7 or 8 inch mark. And then I just had to turn it around and just do a little bit of the other. And even though there is a line there, it's not so obvious. And this would be cool for sand. And you could do several kind of cool techniques to that. So I might show this Friday. I'm want to play with my radiant, or not my radiant pearls, but like my pearl powders. And they're not Stampin' Up specifically, but they would be really pretty on here. On this one, I don't know if you can see it. It's got some shimmer to it. I added my pearl powders. And so that one, it just makes it kind of shimmery and pretty. You can use a shimmer brush or something else if you'd rather. Okay. I'm starting to make a pile. I want to show you what I've cut out, and then we'll start with, we will make our stamp on a few of these. This is, okay, so I couldn't decide what color I wanted. So I know it's crazy, but some of these I embossed like that. This is in like toffee. Some of them I just cut out the outline, and I did some of them in a just a shimmer paper, which is like a non Stampin' Up or Close to My Heart thing. It's just a shimmery paper. A few of them I kind of messed around with stamping, and I don't know if I like that color on that color so much, but it's fine. It's just and then I did some in melon, and I think my favorite are the ones in this color, which is mink. It's just more of a gray. You can see it's more of a gray white. I like that mink color. And then I did some of them in navy blue. You're like, wow, that's really weird. Why? And I will show you that in a minute. And I wanted to show you this. So this was one that I just cut an outline and I stamped it using pigment white ink, and it takes longer to dry. You just have to let it dry. But look at that cool effect that you get when you just use like a pigment ink on there. It's a little hard to see with my weird light. No, that doesn't help. I've tried different lighting in here and nothing seems to be perfect. But anyway, I just love how that turned out. And then I just have some blanks. I just want to stamp a few. We don't have to stamp them all. And I have this one in white. I want to put a little color on there just to show you what that looks like. Okay, so you can see I did a lot. I did a lot of this kind of thing. And I think I'm going to just grab a couple that I'm actually going to use. Okay. And then there's a tiny one. I think I will show you the ink one on that one. I also have a couple in this blue color. So the other thing that you can do is you can, just layer the different things on here. So, if you don't want to stamp, you can just layer that on. Look how cool that looks. So just showing you. All right. The next tray is sand dollars, and not sand dollars, they are starfish. And this one I cut on that paper that I made the other day. There's a whole bunch of real small ones and you can stamp onto those. And the next, let's see, did I do more trays than that? That might be it. What? Nope, there it is. Okay. Did I do any more? I want to make sure I don't miss anything because I might need it. You never know. Okay. So this one, I cut a whole bunch of that, like generic Thoughtful Wishes pieces. This one is in that copper color, like rose gold. I did a bigger piece. This one I had trouble cutting out for some reason. I think it was the way I put it in. I need to run it through twice, I think. Anyway, just some options for greenery and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna set all those aside. We will use them in a bit here. And then I'm gonna start by stamping. Now, if you want an easier way to stamp, you can use your MISTI. And I think I showed this before. Let me grab my, I don't know where I put it. Hold on. Okay, just losing my mind. If you want to use a MISTI, you can use one of your die cut blanks and then just, lay the pieces in place and stamp. I'm just gonna stamp using blocks because I'm a little bit lazy. All right. So I'm just going to show you a couple of things and then we will move on to the scrapbook pages. So let's put the big one there, and is that the medium one? Nope, that's the small one. Oh, the medium one doesn't have a sand dollar, so we'll use that for our little sea urchin things. We'll use the small ones. to stamp on. Okay, so what I want to show you is that if you want to use like the pigment, for each sand dollar, there's something weird about each one. And on this one, it's this little corner right here. It's got this weird like hook. Can you see that weird shape? And so I've been trying to, it's really easy to find on your sand dollar. It looks like it'd be hard to find. Like it's one of those that you'd spin and spin and spin. But that one has a hook. It's really easy. Pigment ink pads are foamy. You don't want to push really hard on them or you'll get a big stitch in the grooves of your stamp, and you don't really want that. And so I'm just going to put some pressure and lift it off, and you can see how cool that looks. Now that is wet. I could emboss it. I could put embossing powder on it and heat it up, or I can just let it dry. And that's what I'm going to do for that one. And let me grab my cleaner. I have a stamp chamois, but sometimes when I use pigment ink, I just use a rag and water because it gets into the little grooves. Okay, and then I'm going to leave that on there. This bigger one, we can do the same thing. And what I've noticed on this bigger shape is that the bottom has like this giant, what I call a smile. It's like bumpy, 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 bumpy smile. So when I line this one up, I just always put that smile thing at the bottom. Okay. And you can see it on the stamp as well. So that makes it a lot easier. Again, tap, 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 not smash, okay? And then put some pressure. And then lift that off. And when that dries, you're gonna see the image of that sand dollar, but it won't look, it'll just look a little white. So I think that's a pretty cool technique for this. Okay, we got the messy stuff out of the way. All right, so now I just want to, I like the white. I'm gonna keep the white. I think I want a real light color on these, and you can pick, I just grabbed a bunch of different inks, and I kind of like this mink color. It's soft, so let's try that one. Mink is like a, almost like a soft gray. It's probably, I tried it with like the basic beige of Stampin' Up, and basic beige is a little more brown, like a little more tan. This is more like a light gray. I probably need a cushion. Now, when this stamps, it has a splotchy look, and it's an intentional thing because that's like, it's made that way. It's made to add that splotchy looking kind of texture. And you can see where these would layer really cool together, right? So you can put whatever color you want on your sand dollars. The other color that is really good for beach and sand, surprisingly, is shortbread. It looks yellow, but when you stamp it, it comes out more of a tan, like a straw, maybe a little darker than that. Like this is shortbread right here. And that's the dark side. And then that's the light side. And the light side, it looks really cool on like a beach kind of scene. Okay, I got a couple of those. Let me go ahead and do one small one. And then there's no reason these have to look realistic. I mean, honestly, you could use Lagoon. I use navy blue. You could use anything, right? So let me just clean this off a sec, and let's just use a really different color on this one. How about melon? Melon, it feels wrong. It's like dark. But you could always do it second generation if you find that it's just too much for you. Okay, I've got my smile at the bottom, and I'm just going to line that up. Now, you could stamp these and then die cut them, but with that die being a trio, isn't that cool looking? Oh, look at that. And if I layer that with the embossed ones, cool. I like how it looks. All right. Anyway, I wish I could find my little blue. Oh, you know what? I'm not sure where. I thought I saw it, but I don't. It's not it. Dang. It's driving me crazy, you guys. I don't know what I did with it, but basically, once you have die cut it out and you have the holes, it's just easier to stamp these on a MISTI or something. All right, I'm just going to put these back on the sheet so I don't lose them. All right, so let's talk about scrapbooking. I am in love with the wood grain paper, and man, this sheet with all of the different, I'm gonna go out just a little bit. Okay, this sheet with this cool stripy paper is just a big winner in my book. It looks like the boardwalk. It looks like beach, and you know, this whole paper packet has the blues and the tans, and it's got that peachy melon color. And so it's just a very cool look. And you can see, like, you can lay your different parts and pieces on it, and you can see how cool everything will look on it. Everything will go. So I just kind of did a whole bunch of different colors that I thought would coordinate, right? So that's why I chose the colors that I did, because I started with this paper. Love this paper. And you know, I don't go to the beach a lot. I do have some beach papers, but honestly, I don't go to the beach a lot. This paper, I've seen a lot of other demonstrators using it, and they're cutting it down and slivering it up and trying to make it go as far as possible, because it's a real winner in the collection. And look at the blue. Why'd they put two colors so beautiful back to back? But I really like this white, breaking it up a little bit. And yeah, I could cut off this paper and then save the bottom, but I'm just gonna go ahead and use this as my base, and I'm gonna put on this as a border. And I like the idea of it being at the bottom, like, kind of like, you know, beachy. Now you could totally use these sand dollars in an obvious way. The obvious way is to, you know, let's do a white page or a light page and do sand and maybe a little bit of water. And I'm not saying I won't do that. I'm just saying I wanted to do something a little different this time. I went ahead and I cut that swirl. There you go. You can see that swirl. That swirl embossing folder, and I just had a scrap of this mink paper, and there's the dark and there's the light, and I'm going to use the light. I was thinking, you know, I kind of want to use it, I want to add lighter tones to this paper and let the paper be, you know, strong. Okay. And then I have a couple of photo mats that I thought would look really cool here. And I want these swirls to show. So I did not worry about making this completely perfect in terms of this background being a certain way or whatever. I want this swirl to show. I didn't need the mat to carry over. I didn't want to cover up all of that really cool wood grain that I like. Okay. And then I went ahead and kind of made this my base. All right. So we're going to kind of do the same thing on the other side. Something very similar. Oop, let me grab it. Oh my gosh, I found that thing. There it is. This is what I've been looking for. It was buried in my scrapbook. So let me just show you really fast. Like if you were gonna stamp this, this is die cut out of just a piece of cardstock. And you'd put it in your MISTI as your base. And then you would take your blanks and you would, you know, like layer them in here where they go, like this, and, you know, like this. Anyway, you would just layer your pieces in, and then you could take your stamp and line it up and pick it up with your MISTI, right? And then over and over again, you can just put in a blank, ink, stamp, take this out, it's done. Put in a new one, stamp. Now remember, the middle size doesn't have a stamp. I don't know why they didn't make a stamp for that, but it's okay. We'll use it another way. But that's what this is for. I've been keeping this in my box with my stamp set so that I can just reuse it over and over again. So that's a trick. That's a MISTI trick, not my trick, just one that I saw. I think I saw Jennifer McGuire do it, and I was like, oh my God, that's brilliant. And it really works for that one in particular because the die is so big. It's not like you can stamp it first and easily cut it out, because it's a 3-part die, and you know, putting that in your machine it's tricky. It's a little tricky. One thing about this paper is it has a turquoise top and a brownish bottom, brown gray bottom. And when I first started playing with this just to try to figure out what I wanted to do, I realized I had them like this way, and it did not look good. You really need to make sure if you're using it as a background, that your pages are starting with the same color. Doesn't matter what, but just something I noticed. So this is going to be my right hand page, and I have another piece of that really cool swirl. Thing about, I had to make sure I was putting that on the right side. Thing about this embossed cardstock is that adhesive, it won't stick in all the little crannies, so it's really important that you put enough adhesive to hold this sucker down, because it's only gonna adhere, you know, where the bumps are. Okay. I have no idea why I just turned that over. There's not really an up or a down on that. Okay. I'm going to use these pages for my Disney trip that I have coming up. And my plan is to use them. I have like a beach club. We're staying at the Yacht Club Beach Club Resort, and it's right next to the boardwalk. So I know I'll have tons of pictures that'll work on this paper. And so I went ahead and I got out my giant letters and I die cut a title. I'm not going to put it on right now, but I just want you to see it. And I really love the dark brown on this. This is like espresso, and I just think it looks really, really cool. And when I put this on, I realized I want more of this brown on here, like so much for my lightening things up a little bit. So I cut out some tags, and I thought these would be really cool for tucking into the side a little bit and using that for decoration. And I'm not gluing them down yet because I'm not, I want to put some twine on there. And so I'm going to put a little bit on each page. What's nice about being zoomed out like this, you can see both pages. That is something. Okay. So then I was trying to figure out if I needed more of that brownish grunge kind of ish color. And I think I'm going to distress the edges of my whole layout with some brown, but I might do that on the second page. So let me put this base away and let's do the other layout that I have. I kind of have like a, I don't know, I have this plan for 2 different layouts. I got lots of parts and pieces going here, so I need to get rid of some of this. I'm going to go ahead and put photo holders on. The other place that we go in Disney where I think this paper would be really appropriate is there's a restaurant called Skipper Canteen, and the Skipper Canteen is it's a really cool little restaurant, and we always take pictures of our food there. So I wanted to use the blue. I know it's sacrificing that beautiful paper, but I wanted to use the blue, and I really like, but I still wanted a sliver of this. And you can see I did edge the little with some of the brown like that. And so I'm going to go ahead and attach this and this little torn edge here. So it looks like it's running the whole way. Again, when you do this, you want to make sure that your colors line up, or it won't look like it's running from top to bottom. It'll look wonky. It'll look like 2 different pieces, right? So think about that. Okay. I did not put adhesive too close to the edge because I may have to do a little tucking. And I want to leave enough room at the bottom to use those cool, all that sea stuff that I cut. I think I'm going to use my liquid glue for this because I may want to tuck. I'm not sure. I don't know. I kind of like it showing like that. Okay. And then we have this up here. And Liquid glue gives me a moment to get my act together. Lets me wiggle, lift, move. You could use, some of the tape runners are really good about that too, but that is one of the reasons I really like using the liquid glue. Okay, just to make this look a little rougher, I think I do want to scuff up these edges with a little ink. I have a little brown here, and this is an old color box tool. You could use any sponge or, you know, even one of the daubers. I just have this one that I have used for so many years that I just grab it. It is, you guys, so gorgeous today. I have all the doors and windows open. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's supposed to be, I think they said 110 degrees next week. Like Tuesday is supposed to be like the hottest day of the summer. And I'm like, how is that possible? It was like 40s last night, right? I just don't get it. It's like, this weather's wacko. All right, so I think I'm gonna kind of make this closer to the top. I'm not gonna center it. And then I have some photo mats, which I can put, depending on which way my photos go. I'm not gonna put these on quite yet. I wanna do the other page. I'll probably do them, my guess is I will do them like this, because I wanna be able to see the paper. I don't want them to be too perfect, angular, right? I mean, like too geometric looking. I like the overlap. All right, so let's do the other page for this. And here's what I did. First, I need to put my photo mats on. So I put my glass mat back down today because sometimes when I do messy stuff, man, it's nice to have that glass mat. I really like the all-purpose mat that I've been using for the last couple years or whatever. I actually like it a lot. The glass mat is nice because it's available for you to buy if you want it. But the all-purpose mat, you know, they sell them in different colors. All right, so here I have my last sheet of paper that I needed to, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to rip it down the sides so that it looks more weathered. And that is where I got the rips, okay? And then I had a little bit left, and I thought I'm gonna use the blue because I used it on the other page. And that way I've got both of those colors like accounted for. Really like it. Okay, and I really want this kind of overlapping a little bit. I want some of the white showing over here. So, oh, that blue is so pretty. It's so hard to cover it up. Look how cool it is. Wouldn't this be an amazing like winter page with snow and man. Let's see. I guess it won't matter what side is up or down because on the other side I have it going the other direction. Okay. All right. And then I have photo mats, which will go like that. All right. So here is my second layout. All these pieces everywhere. And I really want to, I'm wanting to grunge this up a bit. And this one in particular would be really good for like the Skipper canteen. And so I think I'm going to do the edges. That restaurant is very dark inside, and so I just think it'll look good that way. So I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. I just want a little like border around the edges. And again, you don't want it too perfect. Like I've seen some people like just take their ink pad and do a swipe. I don't find that the Close to My Heart ink pads are good for that. Like, I don't like how that looks. I have some distress ink pads where I've done that, and I liked how that looked a lot. I think this page like this would look really nice for outdoor pictures. Just plain, you know, hanging out with the family, sitting on your deck, having a cookout, whatever. I think that this layout would look really nice just for stuff like that. It didn't have to be beachy. It's just that I had that in my head. The minute I saw this paper, I was like, oh, well, that looks like the beach. And so immediately I'm like, I gotta get that beach paper or that beach set so that I have something, you know, to go with this. And so that's my plan. All right. And then, you know, I also cut out the word boardwalk. I don't think I'm going to use this for the boardwalk, but I did cut a title that I thought would look really good. Again, that brown. There's something about that dark brown with this paper. Really like it. I think this, you know, this paper has a lot of dark brown in it. Anyway. Okay, so I like this. And I like how it looks kind of scuffed up. Now, you're really going to think I'm weird when I do this next thing. I'm going to set this to dry a sec. Not that it's really wet, but I have this piece of burlap that is like, I don't know. It's that kind of burlap that you buy that falls apart. And like, you know, starts looking kind of straggly. You can take the edges out like that. And I love the idea of like having that as part of my background a little bit. Had to use like fabric scissors for that. All right, so I'm definitely going to use some burlap, which is a little weird. And then I just need to figure out my decorations here. I'm getting these out so that they're not buried. Okay, so let's start with the main gig. What do I want? And I think I like this mink color. So I'm gonna put the mink color in, I wanna do it in at least 3 places. And I'm not sure yet how it's gonna look. I also really like the blue. I think I'm gonna save the blue for the other layout. I'm gonna throw it over there and because I like how that looks with that. I could use that's really nice. Okay, and then I'm just playing around with different colors and different pieces to see what I like. These big ones are just a little too large now, so I need to go down a size. And to get my mink in, I think I'm gonna use this little guy. We'll see. We'll see. We could also use the toffee color. And I really like this shimmery paper that's in my stash. I think I bought it from the Paper Cut. It's just really pretty. Oh, I like this embossed one. I'm going to put it down there. Let's see what that looks like. So, what is everyone else doing? Anybody doing anything fun? I feel bad because I really wanted to go to the fair this year, and I don't know, after I went to the Champaign County Fair and ate my way around the fair, I kind of felt like I'm done with that. I don't need to go to the Illinois State Fair. And so I sort of skipped out on that. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna grab my other thing because it has all of these really cool cutouts, and in different colors. I could use the tan. I did grab some Lagoon because I think it goes with the paper, but it's really bold. Let's see what else I got here. I really like this. This is my favorite. It's really soft. I'm throwing a couple pieces onto the other layout as I pull it out because I know it'll look good over there. I think I like this. And like that. I can't decide what to do down here. So if I use a little bit of that, and that's another piece that I cut from that piece that I like messed with. The seagrass is difficult for me. One thing I've noticed is I find it a little bit harder to use because it's just not a natural, I don't know. It doesn't look like seagrass as much to me as it should. Does that make sense? Okay. I'm gonna move this over just a little on the starfish. And I know you guys are back being quiet, but you're sitting there going, no, that should go here. No, I bet you money that you guys have opinions that you are keeping to yourself. I like that. I like the brown. I like a little bit of this Lagoon color. Very nice. And I think here I kind of need like something smaller. That's really pretty with that. Maybe I need to add a little bit of the melon to each cluster, just a tiny bit. That's probably my answer. That's probably what I'm missing. I like it. Yeah. I think I need to possibly stamp onto that starfish a little bit. One thing about the starfish is all the arms are just sort of curve, curve, curve. And then there's this weird one right here that has like a foot. See it? It looks like a man dancing. See, he's walking and there's his foot. That's how I line up the stamp, and it's been working perfectly for me to do that. So if you have any trouble at all, something to think about. The other thing that is kind of a neat idea for these is if you take these pieces like this and you cut just cut a rando shape out of it, you end up with what looks like, you know, like a piece of coral or something. Like you can tuck that under. See how that looks? It's just kind of a neat, you don't have to go buy the coral set if you know, figure out how to make that work. Oh yeah, this is coming together. This is coming together. I also had this one and didn't cut out all the way because I have a habit of cutting multiple layers at the same time, and it just didn't cut through this one. And so I kind of kept it because I thought it kind of adds texture. It looks nice. It's not that I don't like it. This one up here needs a little some. I don't know for sure I got the right thing that I want to add to it, but anyway, there's where I'm going. Okay, so here is my beach club layout. Now, the other thing that I really, gosh, this is really nice, you guys. I'm loving it. The other thing that I thought, you know, I always add bling. I love bling. And this is the bling that kind of, they advertised like kind of with this paper. It is the Faceted Gems Trio pack, and it's gorgeous. It's soft. It's really pretty. I think it'll look gorgeous with that. It'll be fine. But then I was kind of looking at some of my others that might work, and this is the Mediterranean pack, and the navy blue, you know, that might look really nice on the other page. Also, I really love the clear dots because they look like bubbles. That's one thing that Stampin' Up! Really does that, you know, makes me happy, is they have a lot of bling. I really love the different sequins. These are the neutrals. And I thought the brown sequins might add a little more brown to this, or I could use these coppery colored ones. So there's an option. I have so many options. And these are the ones that came with the latte set, the coffee ones, swirl dots, adhesive back swirls. And I thought, wow, that color right there, I would not probably use with my coffee set, but these will look really nice on here. So I'm going to be adding some bling. I'm not sure which one yet. Tell me which one you like. It's really hard. I kind of feel like it's between these two on this page. But I like this too. I could do a combo. Tell me what you think. I want to know. I'm not going to add it yet. And this is sort of how my page is going to be. Oh, the other thing that's really fun, and I do want to add some of this. This is that linen thread. And I'm like, if I don't use it, I'll never use it. I need to use it. So this is a perfect thing to do for this. So like you could take one of your, you know, one of your pieces like this and just put adhesive on the back. And then just run this. I know they like to use tear and tape and stuff like that. I just use whatever adhesive is on my table. And I'm just going to swirl this around and make it look cool. I don't, you know, just make it look good. It's just got to have a texture or something to it, and it will add, you know, it'll just add a little something. And when you do this, it'll just, you know, that linen thread adds a little more of that gray color. It's going to look really good. The other thing that I've done I've taken my hands and just swirled it around and made it almost like a bow and then attached it, you know, so it's kind of a circular. It looks rough, but you get the idea, right? So it just adds a little more to the page. Okay, so I'm going to put this page aside, grab the other one so we can real quick put that one the way we want it, and then done, right? Okay, so here's this. I really love the brown and the blue with this. I could add a little bit of, since I've added some of this color, the like lagoon color to this, I think, you know, there's some options. Okay. That is that greenery from that Thoughtful Wishes. Sorry, I'm distracted because there is something banging on my window outside. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's kids playing baseball, maybe. Well, it's school. I don't know. I do not know. So I'm going to put a little bit of the brown as a triangle. I'm going to put I definitely want these in each triangle as well. Yeah, I like it. It's really nice. I also think it needs a little bit of the lighter color. I have a ton of stuff cut, so I don't know if that's making it harder or easier for me, but that's where I'm at. So I'm just making clusters. I know Stephanie, you said you bought this, and I would love to see what you do with it, because I feel like the more I play with it, the more I'm like, well, it looks so obvious. I mean, it's seashells, right? I mean, it's so simple. And then I'm like, not as obvious as I thought it would be. It's not as, I don't know. I struggle just a little bit with my clustering on this one. So I would love to see what you guys do with this. This is like a really cool set. I'm very impressed with how detailed it looks and how, I don't know, it's just really neat. But yeah, I need a little help, I think. But I do love how this is coming together. Very nice. And I like using these tiny little starfish, almost like gems. They're like embellishments. Look at that. I've left some space for journaling because I know I'm going to need it. And I think this one, the blue would look at, gosh, I think this is the gem for this one. It's going to look really, really neat. It's going to stand out on the paper where the blue would stand out, but it's pretty stark. These will shimmer. And I'm definitely adding some linen to this. I might even add it up and down over here and tie little knots over the whole thing. I think that's a neat idea. If you don't have the linen thread, it's fall. And at like, hold on, let me see. I keep this on my desk all the time. This is like from Hobby Lobby, probably a couple years ago, because I just keep buying it. But this is just like jute, you know. And look how that looks. It's so thick and pretty, and that would add to the ruggedness of this. Like I could put it down here and tie some things right there. I'm definitely going to play a little bit with this and see what I can come up with, because I just think it needs a little texture. And then here, I'm going to save this spot for some journaling. I may add another, you know, seashell something in here, but I don't want to fill it. I don't want to fill that space too much. Okay, I hope that this is stuff that you like and you want to see it. Friday, I'm thinking about using the same set to make a couple of cards. It depends. I may not be able to go live on Friday morning because I have to take my car in at like 8:45, and they said it'd take like an hour and a half. So I may not be live on Friday morning. You may see me maybe in the afternoon. We'll see how the time goes. So I'll keep you posted. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching.